Satnam, aloha everyone. Welcome. And let me know if you can hear me okay. There, that's better. Great. Let me just get the comments up. Great, good. Okay, so just put in the comment section if you can hear me clearly. So put down your astrological information and your human design if you know it. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is Neutrino Astrology, and I use the synergy of astrology, human design, tarot, and Kundalini yoga and meditation to help you move through this time of great change. Okay, so today I want to talk about the new moon that's coming up on November 30th. So are people feeling the shift in energy from when Pluto went into Aquarius? I felt it right away. Felt a lot lighter, right? A lot more hopeful. Just the energy completely shifted. The day of, and then the next day, I just was so exhausted and so tired. And I remember, I went through a similar thing when Pluto went into Aquarius earlier this year. Remember, it just zipped in and then zipped out again. And it feels like a jet lag. That's what I was feeling. I feel like I'm jet lagged from jumping timelines, So I don't know, maybe somebody's resonating with that. It's just to just go with the flow. This too shall pass. And it's about adjusting to a new frequency, right? Oh, awesome. Ripple Long here said Pluto, and what a gift, for you that Pluto went into Aquarius on your birthday. So that's going to be your solar, because on your birthday, you look at where the sun was, right? The degree of your sun. So maybe you're, 25 degree Scorpio, right? So then you then you do your solar return chart. So that will be a major influence for you, right? For the year coming. Yeah, it felt magical. Yeah, Jennifer says it was hit hard today. Yeah, tired, purging. Yeah. So remember, this is a big deal. This is like the next 20-year cycle, right? And it's a huge shift in energy. So our bodies kind of have to adjust, right? With the consciousness shift. So this is something that I posted last week, and it got some comments on it. So I started to write. I wrote a little bit about it, and I thought, this is like a little thing to bring up in my live stream, right? So this is what we're all going through this. When Pluto is in Capricorn, that's like the dark night of the soul for humanity. And so I think we're all familiar with the matrix. I don't need to explain what that is. So you can see here, this is life while in the matrix. So this would be, where are we? Oops. Okay. Are we going to play this game? I want to make sure that you can see my highlighter. You can see it. Yeah, there we go. This will come back. So life while in the matrix, right? Life while in the matrix, right? So this would be like you're unconscious. You're still kind of asleep. You're just enjoying life. Enjoying life meaning enjoying life through the five senses, right? Through the mind. And everything is so glamorous, right? Everything's so glamorous and colorful. And this is the matrix, right? So this is what it means to be asleep and unconscious. And it seems really exciting, right? And then when you wake up from the matrix, then you get to see behind the veil, behind the glamour, and to see the truth of these people that are hiding, right? That you can't see. It's just glamoring. So you just see, wow, look at their Instagram reel, right? Look at their Facebook stories. They're doing so great. They're so happy. There's something wrong with me, right? And then when you wake up from the matrix, which means that you come out of a deep sleep and you come more into your consciousness and the realization that you're a spiritual being having a human experience, well, then you get to see the truth of what's really going on. You see the insecurity, right? You see the ego, you see the loneliness, you see the emptiness, right? And the reason why you're seeing that is because, you know, you can see that in yourself, right? So you're tapping into that emptiness, that deep emptiness, which the ego is trying to fulfill, right? Through all the glamoring and the glitter of the matrix, right? And it's like emptiness. And this is what you face. This is the dark night of the soul. When you face this complete emptiness, right? And this is like living by ego. But the next step, the next drawing should be like, that's when you really step on your spiritual path, right? You start to come more into truth, right? To come more into truth. So this is what my channel is all about. I've been really meditating on that, you know? What's this neutrino? Because I'm heading into a new 20-year cycle too, right? With Pluto moving into Aquarius. And I was contemplating like, what's this channel about? And I'm not about, because sometimes the systems and what's out there, and I'm not bashing other influencers out there on YouTube and what they're doing, but sometimes it feels like it's just like you're in a prison, like we're in this prison, and it's like, oh, well, I'm going to approach astrology like I'm going to help people to become more comfortable in their prison, right? I'm going to teach them how they can get a fuzzy blanket in their prison and maybe get, 3 bottles of wine. In France, they used to do that with prisoners. They would give them allotment of 3 bottles of wine every day, and that helped sedate them, and that they would be okay if they were intoxicated in their prison. I'm not about that. I'm about like, let's break out of the prison, right? So that's how I approach astrology and human design and the tarot. It's like, how can you liberate yourself in this lifetime? Which means, how can I be the greatest potential of me, my authentic self, maybe for the first time in any of my other lifetimes? How can I realize that? So this is what I'm here to help people do, is like to break out of that prison and to be truly free, right? So to be truly free means free from this ego, the rulership of the ego over you. That's what true freedom is. But how can I be more comfortable in my prison? It's like, no, that's freedom with the ego. It's like this, right? It's like the false light. You're still in the matrix. Okay? So if people are into that, then you're on my fractal line, right? If you like the sound of my voice, you're on my fractal line. If you're getting irritated, like your being is irritated by me, then I'm not your cup of tea. You probably have another fractal line to find, right? You're not on my fractal line. Or you're resonating with me, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share about that. And so just a reminder of this matrix program. So this is what human design is all about. So you always want to, so I work with the transit report, right? The transit chart, right? But you always want to have your natal chart. So you want to have that on hand while you're watching my YouTube channel. And you're going to learn more about your chart, but you're going to also learn about this influence. So this is like an energy, right here is an energy imprint. This is an energy imprint of the transit of the new moon on November 30th. And it comes from this, the matrix program. So these are neutrinos. So neutrinos are subatomic particles that can move through solid objects, right? And the great thing about neutrinos, subatomic particles, is they have weight, which means they carry with information with them, right? So right now there's 65 million neutrinos passing through your thumbnail every second, right? So 70% of them are coming from the sun. This is what's forming this. This is what the foundation of these the charts are. 20% from Jupiter, and then 10% from other stars. So they're influencing us at such a deep level, right? At a DNA level. So basically, the program is what we need to survive as a human species. This is what the program is pushing. It's all about, this is evolution, and this is just the evolution of our species. What's going to keep us alive, right? So this may or may not be correct for you, right? So if you're in the matrix, you're just like blindly following this program, right? This program, you're blindly like a puppet of this program. But if you're awake, right? Awake, you start at your awakening process and you're aware of your authenticity, then this is you want to go to your natal chart. But I'm a projector type. There's 5 aura types. So I'm all about harnessing, like how can we harness this energy, right? This program energy, knowing that it's not our energy. So, like the sun here is in the 9th gate, which we're going to talk about because it's in the moon. 5th line, right? So if you have this natally, then there's going to be a resonance, and that's okay for you, right? But maybe you've got a 9.1 or a 9.2. It's not going to be a full resonance of you. So it's just to remember that you always go to your natal chart, but you're under this influence of the program, and just be aware of that, right? That it's not you, Okay, so the new moon. So there's the new moon here. So the first thing I want to look at, like let's go to the very bottom of the chart. And you see that? That's called first color. See that one? That's the first color. So this is what's motivating the globe. This is what's during this new moon cycle that starts November 30th, right? This is seeding something. And we'll not see the fruition of this seed until like Gemini season, right? Because that's when there'll be a full moon in Sagittarius. This is a new moon in Sagittarius, full moon in Sagittarius. It's the opposite of Gemini, right? So it will be in the Gemini season. Okay, so the first color is fear, right? So motivated by fear. So everybody has a motivation. You can have 1 to 6, right? Your motivation. So this may be your motivation. Then you're going to have a resonance with this new moon. If not, you're going to be under the influence of this fear. So you need to know that it's not you. And so the thing with astrology and human design in terms of transits, it really depends on your own natal chart, because some people they'll feel it like before it happens. They'll feel this new moon energy before November 30th. Some people will feel it December 2nd, December 3rd, or later, right? It really depends on you. Some people will feel it the day of. Some people may not even be impacted from it at all, right? But you're going to be able, even if you're not impacted by it, you're still going to see it manifest out in the external through other people, right? So if we go to the 9, right, there's the new moon's a 9.5. The sun and the moon conjunct, that makes a new moon. So look at the 9. This is the sacral. Right down, it's sacral. So you see there's no definition, which means none of these centers are colored in, right? So are you going to feel the 9 here? Well, if you're a manifesting generator and a generator, yes, you will feel the 9 because this is going to be colored in, right? But if you're a projector or a reflector or a manifester, you may or may not feel this 9. Right, so you have to have definition. So maybe you got the 52, right, but you don't have the 9. Well, that's going to connect you up. Maybe you don't have the well, we won't have the 3, will we? Yeah, but just in future, right? If there was like a 3 activation here, then you would feel this, right? Yeah, so you would have to have the 52 to join up here. The 52. Some kind of definition you would have to have through transit or even through aura too. If you live with somebody and they connect your sacral, then you're going to feel the effects of this 9. So it has to be colored in for you to feel it, to experience it. Yeah. Okay. So Ripple Long here says, yeah, you've got the 9 natally, so you're going to have a resonance with this 9. You're really good at focusing on things. That's what the 9 says. Yeah. Okay, so just know that, right? This isn't a one size fits all, right? Because this global transit will affect you depending on your natal chart, Okay, so we got fear as the motivation, right? So people are going to be motivated by fear, this new moon. And so this may or may not be correct. If you're motivated by fear, that's correct for you. That's when your intelligence really comes online. The people that are motivated by fear and they know it, they become very, very calm in crisis, right? If they've got a fear motivation, if they have a first color, right? But if this isn't you, then it's going to really affect you. And do you see how you can get into trouble is when you're making decisions from fear. When it's not correct for you, you're not in your intelligence, right? When you're operating from not self. So this would be not self. And so remember, this program is a conditioning field. It's conditioning the globe. It's conditioning all the people on the globe. And what is it conditioning? It's conditioning the minds of people. That's what it's conditioning, right? So the thing is, you don't want to be making your decisions from fear, unless that's your motivation. And then we've got the second tone. So you see that? First color, second tone. Well, that's uncertainty. So people feeling very, very uncertain. And what's uncertain is ego and mind and not self. Again, a recipe for disaster for people, right? Making decisions that aren't correct for them. Okay, so if we go down to the 9 here, I have my drink here. So it's the gate of focus. I've got the 52, but I don't have the 9. 52 is the Buddha gate. Does anybody have the 52? Let me know. The 52nd gate is the Buddha gate. Meditation has been so easy for me. Like, sure, it's challenging once in a while, but for the most part, it's really easy for me to sit still and meditate, right? But, so there's the 9. The 9 is focus, right? So this is the gate of focus, right? So the moon. So what's it telling us? It's where are we going to focus our energies, right? Where are you going to focus your energies for this new moon? And it's to focus it on a single direction. And look at our world. There's so much distraction, right? It's all about our focus, right? What we're focusing on. So you want to be focusing, you want to go internal, right? And this new moon, you really want to go inside, and it's like, what do I want to focus on? And it's going to be about your soul purpose, right? What am I going to focus on? Because everything is clamoring for your attention right now, right? There's so many distractions. And you leak your energy. We leak our energy with our eyes, right? Our eyes, whatever we're looking at. If we focus on something that's not correct for us, we're leaking energy. The manifesting generators and the generators really have to know that. You want to be really careful what you focus your eyes on right now. So what's important for you? Important for your destiny, right? Projects that are correct for you. So you've got to go to your strategy and type, right? So if you're a projector, recognize invitation. If you're a manifester, then you're informing and then initiating. MGG, you're responding, right? Reflector, you're waiting through a moon cycle. So you want to go to your strategy and authority. And if you're not familiar with that, then you go to your intuition, right? You go to your intuition, you go to your heart. You go to your heart and you listen, right? And you listen. And it's interesting too, if you note, we're going to the cross of the sleeping phoenix in 2027 and onward. This is the new global cycle, the 400 year cycle. we've been in this other cycle since 1615, and it ends in 2027. Well, that's the cross of planning, and there's 4 major themes in each one of these cycles. And the cross of planning cycle, the 9 and the 16, and then the 40 and the 37. So the 9 is one of the major keys, right, of the cross of planning that we've been in. So I feel like we're getting kind of an upgrade, right, because 2027 is coming faster, and that's the 9th gate, right, the 9th gate. So the gate of focus, what you're here to focus on. So the keynote, because you got to look at the 5th line, right? So it's not just the 9, it's the 9.5. So it can be 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5, 9.6. It's 9.5. So this is a projection. Whenever you see the 5th line, so this is the collective projecting onto others. Oh, they're focusing on something, so they're going to solve this problem for us, right? They're in these meetings. There's these, there's people in the scientists in the lab, right? They're trying to find a cure for this disease. They're focusing, so they're going to come up with a solution. But that's a projection that may or may not be true. But this is what the collective is projecting. Right? So anything, if you leave with any message from my channel, is do not give your power away to an outside authority. Do not give your power away to an outside authority. But we're going to see this for the new moon, because it's wired right in us in the human DNA, is we're looking for a savior. So this is like faith. I'm going to have faith in these people because they're locked away. They're focusing on something. They're going to come up with a solution. And focus doesn't mean that. You can focus on something and not come up with a solution, right? There's some kind of click that happens, that understanding. There's an understanding that comes, right? It's not just about focus. Focus is like a step, right? Is a step, but it's not really a solution. You're not problem solving in that sense, right? There's steps after. So this is this faith that you've got to watch too. So personally, you'll watch this yourself. Like, am I projecting outward that somebody else is going to come up with a solution? Somebody else going to fix it for me? Is somebody else going to focus and tell me what I should be doing, what my soul purpose should be, right? Am I going to be divinely lazy, right? Because the 9th, the shadow of the 9 is inertia. That's the shadow of the 9. And this is getting stuck, right? It's getting stuck. It's paralyzed, not moving, right? So the gift here is determination. So you want to be determined, right? Determined with this energy for this new moon. But it's knowing what to focus on. First step is like, what am I going to focus on? Okay. What else did I want to say about here? Okay, well, let's look at the tarot card. So the tarot card, this isn't picked intuitively. It's why it's not doing that. Okay. The 8 of Wands correlates to the decans, like the Sagittarius decan, right? So this is the 8 of Wands, and what's the degree again? It's the 9 degrees. Do you see that? 9 degrees of Sagittarius. So this is the 0 to 10. Goes with the 8 of Wands. So this is focusing your energy. This is focusing your passion, right? Focusing your passion. And then the Wands, this is fast movement, right? This is spirit, the passion, energy, action, not inertia, right? So it's by focusing. So to me, this means this new moon is about expansion. It's a Sagittarius. Expanding your mind and receiving the intuitive guidance, whatever that is, whatever lights you up, right? If you're an MGG, what's lighting you up, right? What divine downloads are you receiving if you're a manifestor? What are you seeing out in the world? You're being recognized if you're a projector, right? So this is about expansion. So this is like Pluto and Capricorn's over, right? So now it's time to really enter into this new energy and to really break out of any limiting beliefs that you may have, or limiting beliefs you have about yourself or life or what you're capable of. Right? And find that determination, and then you're going to be throwing your wands out, your 8 wands. And then as soon as you do that, it's like focused energy. This is where I'm focused on. I'm throwing those wands out. Well, what happens is the universe will respond. Remember, as an MGG, the universe, you respond to the universe, but the universe responds to you too, right? So it's going to respond with opportunities, right? Opportunities for you to respond to. Intuitive guidance, information that you need, people that you need will start to respond to these 8 wands moving out. Yeah. What else did I want to say about this? Okay. But you've got to deal with this conditioning field of fear and uncertainty, right? So it's about transcending that. So that's always like I go back to my natal chart. I go back to my natal chart and I look at that. The other thing that I wanted to do too is, what else did I want to talk about? What's missing? So do you see the chart? There's Pluto is in the 5th, the 60.55. We've got the 1, we've got a 1. There in Uranus, we've got a 2. And Saturn, do we have a 3? Yeah, we've got a 3 in Venus. We've got a 4 in Mercury. Mars is 5, we got that. And the Sun and Earth are 5. Look, there's no 6s. Do you see that? There's no 6 lines. So what does that mean? That's more fear. That's fear of the future. If there's no 6s, this goes for your natal chart too. If you've got no 6s in your chart, there's going to be a fear of the future, like automatically, because you're missing that. This is not self, right? I got to get rid of the fear of the future. So we got fear, general fear. We've got fear of the future. And we've got uncertainty. And then not only that, we've got fixed left. And that means like I'm going to run and be in a crowd. This is the conditioning field. I'm safer in a crowd. I'm going to be with these people that may or may not be correct for you, right? But this is the not self. The program is all about the not self when you're not awake to it, not awake to your natal chart, right? So this is like I'm running to the crowd because I'm safer. The not self is like I'm safer in the crowd. I'll survive in the crowd. And this is not a good thing to be doing right now. Not now. It's about being your authentic self for this new cycle, right? That's what's going to keep you safe, is you're in the present now moment and you're operating as yourself, your own inner authority. And it's not your ego, right? It's like a deeper sense. Right, so this is strategy and authority is definitely a stepping stone to getting to the self, and that's your soul, getting to the soul, because that's your real inner authority is your soul. Right, so we've got that. So we're going to have to deal with a lot of fear for this this moon cycle. Okay. Yeah, so it could be, too, if you're in. And your friendships should start to be dissolving anyway if they're not aligned with you. You're going to start to see that clearly. The masks are coming off. People can't hide anymore. So people can also not hide their light anymore. They can't. The people that are of the light, you can't hide anymore. You got to come out of your cave too, right? It's time to be seen and recognized if you're a projector. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing is that everybody, just going back to this 9.5, 16.5, this is projection, right? So everybody's going to be projecting on everybody else. This is projection. So you've got to watch that. And if you want to help anybody during this new moon cycle, you got to be practical, right? That's the fifth line. If you're a fifth line profile, you know this. You've got to be practical. So you help people and then you scoot back home, right? If you want to help people with something, you go help them, do it, and then get out of there, because you'll be projected. People are going to be projecting on one another left and right. So being practical means being grounded, right? Grounded in whatever solution you're offering people. It's got to be grounded and practical, because this new moon is when people can lose their reputation. We're going to see a lot of people's losing their reputation, like falling off from that pedestal, right? So you want to watch that too. That's a warning for this new moon cycle. Okay. Okay. And what else did I want to say about this? Okay. Okay, let me just see some comments. I thought I had more to add there. Okay. Okay. I'm just looking at the comments, everybody, before I move into the next section. Yeah. Oh, the other thing with Pluto and Aquarius, what I've been noticing, and maybe you've been noticing too, Aquarius is other dimensions. It rules other dimensions that we're going to start to see. Like this morning, it's been happening to me more and more, where I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm still kind of half asleep, half awake, and I can see into the astral plane. I don't know if anybody else has had that experience. Let me know. That you can see faces, like all these faces moving around in beings. And yeah, I've been seeing that more and more. And we're going to start to see that, right? We're going to be able to see in these other dimensions with Pluto and Aquarius. So to be aware of that. And that means that we're going to have to talk about how to keep yourself safe and protected, right? From the astral realm, because it's the ancients even said that we'll start to see this bleed through. That's the other thing about the chart too. In your chart, because I have a resonance, depending on your chart, you can have a resonance with the paranormal, and it depends on what your chart is. Mine is ghosts. I have a resonance with ghosts, and it's so true. I go to a new place or I'm visiting, I always have some ghost around that I've got to deal with. And they don't know they're dead. The ones that I meet, they don't know they're dead. They have no idea they're dead. So I have to tell them, you're dead. You're not supposed to be here, right? Go away. Go to the infinite, right? Keep moving on. And it depends, right? Because the ghosts, it depends on their attachment, right? If they're attached to their body, then they're going to be around the cemetery or wherever their body is. And there's a lot of people attached. They die with this attachment to their body, or they're attached to their spouse or partner, so they're hanging around the house. Favorite place, they're hanging around there. So that's really interesting too. So I think that's probably part of what I'm seeing is the astral plane, the ghosts that are trapped, right, in between realms. But it can be, you can be aligned with demons. That's another one, demons, or what are some of the other ones? Deities, like certain Hindu deities, ETs. You can be aligned with ETs. It's really fascinating. Jesus, you can be aligned with Jesus, all according to the chart. Okay. Yeah. Putting fires out all week, reminding me of my specialty. Yes, stay calm. Stay calm. It's been popping off for me already. Yep. Okay. So keep your focus. I mean, thank you for mentioning that. That just reminded me of something. You know, you want to keep your focus on the internal, your internal self, right? You keep your focus there on your internal self. And this is where the peace and the calm is. So what does this mean? It means being in your body, What does it mean to be present? It means to be in your body, right? Not in the thoughts of the mind, because people are going to be freaking, right? They're going to be popping off left and right in this new moon cycle around fear. So you want to stay calm. You want to be that calm presence. Okay. So if you've got the 9, some people are saying, some say, okay, I've got the 52 and not the 9. So you can sit still, but you don't know what to focus on. Phantom, right? So what this can do is it can cause depression, right? When you don't know what to focus on. That can come up. But then if you've got the 9, you can focus till the cows come home, but you can't sit still. You see? When you have one or the other there. So this is about focusing, but there's a lot of action here. Lots of action and movement in this energy. Okay. Oh, there's more. I didn't see these other comments. Okay. Yay, thank you, Jennifer. I didn't hear much feedback from the Rebirth webinar. That was another big, like, I felt so different the next day after that webinar. It was very powerful. Thank you. Astrology is, yeah, definitely ruled by Uranus, Aquarius. And it rules society and networks and technology. Sacred Journey says she's been seeing faces too, been seeing ghosts my whole life. Ripple, maybe you've got a resonance with the ghosts too. Yeah. North known as Aquarius. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Can't sit still. That's right. So we're going to see a lot of that too, right? Can't sit still. Okay. So let's go to... is there anything I wanted to say here? There we go. Pluto and Aquarius. Yeah. And that Jupiter and Gemini. I've been starting to look at next year because I'm going to do a webinar in 2025. And it's going to be quite the year, according to the chart, right? But this talk about this, trying to focus with Jupiter and Gemini, expanding our information. It's difficult to keep up with everything. But remember, Google, there's something way more powerful than Google or any search engine that you use, and that's your own intuition. And that's when you receive the information that you're supposed to receive, not this excess, right? Excess. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start off with some readings here. With we're going to start off with the twin flames. So let me know if you are on the twin flame journey, or am I wasting my time doing twin flame readings here? There we go, twin flames. Okay. So we're going to see more and more of these relationships, these twin flames. Okay. So what's the purpose of the twin flame? The twin flame is a gift. It's a blessing from the divine. I know it doesn't seem like a gift. I heard somebody describe it like this, which is pretty funny. It's like when you meet your twin flame and you have your twin flame connection, it's like the best party ever, but you get the hangover first. You experience the hangover first, and then it's the best party ever. Right. So it's a gift from the divine. And what's it all about? Like what's the goal here with the twin flame? It's to realize the self, right? So what does realize the self mean? It means to have an ego death. To have an ego death. So both twin flames have to have their own version of an ego death. And this is when they experience their soul. So union isn't necessarily, the end goal is not about being in union with your twin flame. The end goal is to be in union with yourself, with your own soul. So this is what it triggers, right? The twin flame connection triggers an ego death in each twin. So the twin flames have the similar frequency, right? Their essence is a similar frequency. That's why they're so drawn to one another, right? That energy wants to merge with itself. But what's in the way here is the ego. The ego is in the way. But the egos are the different. That's the difference, right? So that's why I'm a little bit opposed to runner and chaser, because there's always a separation with the twin flames, and it's not personal. You know, one twin flame may say it's they're cowardly and they're running away and they don't want to do their journey, and right, and they're in denial and they're afraid, and then then the other twin is they're crazy, they're insane, right? They're making me really uncomfortable. They're too intense, whatever it is, right? But that's the ego talk. That's just the ego talk. So it's like an ego's perception of what's going on with the twin flame during separation, and that's how the ego views it, because it's looking at it from the external. But if we could see the energetics of it, it's just that it's out of alignment, right? It's out of alignment. So both in separation. So if you're listening, you're probably a chaser, right? You're probably a chaser. And maybe you're a runner. I don't know. Maybe some runners come and watch this channel too. So the chaser is usually, so the one so the separation happens and it looks like one's running away from the connection and the other one is chasing, right? So the one that's chasing is like, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. I want to fix you, right? I want to fix you. And the runner is like, no. I want to get away from you. I don't feel good around you, basically. It's bringing up stuff for me, but it's bringing up shadow. But it's bringing up shadow for the chaser too. So both of them, in a sense, the chaser and the runner, they're both running. The chaser's running from themselves and their own work. And then the runner is just running from themselves as well, basically, right? So usually the chaser is more spiritually evolved. And that's not like a I'm better than you thing. It's a fact, right? So one has to be more spiritually evolved because this one goes first. The chaser goes first in the ego death. They experience this ego death first, right? And then the runner is less spiritually evolved, more in the material realm, more in that matrix energy, right? Like I went back to here, right? So the chaser's more in this energy, trying to run away, right? Trying to run away from this, doing this inner work, stopping. So what was I going to say about that? Runner, chaser. So the chaser's usually older. I've noticed that in my research, there always seems to be an age gap. So one's older. So of course that makes sense that this would be the one that's more spiritually evolved because they have more experience, right? And then the runner is the one that's younger. And it's usually the younger one is male, and then the chaser's the female, right? And this can work for same-sex couples too, right? One's more in the masculine, one's more in the female energy, but it can be reversed too, right? Like the chaser can be male and the runner can be female. So let me know if you're on the twin flame journey. So what I wanted to talk about in terms of this reading is I want to look at Venus and Mars, rather than the moon. Right, rather than the moon. So let's look at the Venus, right? Which makes sense, right? The chaser, this would be like the divine feminine, the empress energy. Like this is attracts, right? And then the Mars is like the axe, attracts and acts. So it's the Mars person that's got to take action in the connection. They need to take action in the connection right here. So often the chaser wants to take action. The chaser wants to take action. That's what they want. That's what their ego wants. It's just like, I just want to take action on this, right? But that's not, right? That's not how you do it, because the chaser has to go inside and be in union with themselves. or they don't take action. It's the Mars, it's the runner that has to take action, Yeah, otherwise it's like the Venus person is like, you know, the Mars person's going through their lessons, like deep, deep spiritual lessons. And then the Venus person wants to go in and give them all the answers. They're writing their exam. They're going through a spiritual death of the ego, the dark night of the soul. And the Venus wants to go and here's the answers. It's like, no, that's not how you do it. That just prolongs this separation period, right? Okay. So if we look at Venus, we've got 61.3. And then Mars is 31.5. Do you see that? Okay, so the Venus person is up here. There's the 61. These are the crazy gates. The 61. That's the crown chakra up here. So the 61. And maybe you have this natally. Let me know if you have it natally. So Venus is activating that, the 61.3. And it's in Capricorn. Venus is in Capricorn. And Mars is in Leo. So this is the gate of mystery. It's called the gate of mystery. So whenever you see this on the crown chakra, this is a mental pressure. So the chaser is experiencing this mental pressure, right? And how does this manifest? It manifests as obsessive thinking. The chaser is obsessively thinking about the twin. Let's keep it on the twin, but maybe you're obsessively thinking about other things too, right? And so every chaser knows this, right? Because this is the first thing that starts during separation, is that the mind is out of control. The mind becomes out of control because the ego, remember when twin flames come together, they're activated in the 3D realm. That energy starts to release, that Kundalini energy starts to release in both twins. And then the chaser, the mind steps in. The ego is stepping in for both twins, right? One of the egos, the runner, is like, get away from here, ghost them, block them, never talk to them again, I'm done with them, blah, blah, blah. That's the ego trip for the runner. And then the ego trip for the Venus person is this obsessive thinking. Can't get that twin off their mind. It's like, go. And if you're a meditator, you know this. If you know your mind, right? And suddenly your mind is like obsessed with a person and you're watching your mind like, what is this about, right? This is the 61. So what does the not self want to do? It wants to get rid of that pressure, doesn't it? Right? The 61, I want to get rid of this pressure of my mind because I want to get to the truth. It's the gate of mystery. I want to know. I want to know what this connection is about. I have to know. Like, what is it? Right? What is it? Why? Why is this happening? Right? So it's a pressure here with the 61. And so you need to know that you're going through a mutation. The 61 in the Venus for the chasers is you're going through some kind of mutation. You got to let your mind do what it's going to do, but you don't act from it. You don't let the mind get obsessive and do its thing. Don't interfere. You're going through some kind of major mutation with the 61.3. So it's really about, and this can drive you crazy. Like, honestly, this can drive you crazy trying to understand the twin flame connection with your mind will drive you insane. It will drive you crazy because it's the mystery. It's the gate of the mystery. And that's why these twin flame connections are so impactful, because there's only one place you can go. Right? And that's to go within and surrender. That's the only place of peace for the chaser. The only place for you to find peace is to go within. So life will show you when you're in the chasing energy. It's like, I need to know. I need closure on this. Why is this happening? Blah, blah, blah. Well, it's mystery. Some things are just meant to be a mystery. Right? Do you see what it's doing? this connection, it's making you, it's forcing you to surrender to your soul. And that means to close your eyes and go deep within. Like even your mind is external to you. Some people think, well, I'm inside. No, you're in your mind. You're still external. You've got to go deep, 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 deep within yourself. There's a whole universe within you, right? And that's what you can discover here. And this is about emptying your mind, right? So how do you empty your mind? You can't empty your mind with your mind. You can only empty your mind when you go deep, deep within. And then your mind starts to become calm. And you can't hear that voice of the ego anymore, right? You're with yourself. You're in union with yourself. That's the point of the twin flame connection, is to be in union with yourself. And to balance these energies, the Venus and Mars energies. And all you want is silence, right? The 61.3 just wants silence. I just want my mind to stop, right? This is insane. It just won't stop about this twin. Well, it's only going to stop when you go deep, deep within, right? Where there's peace. What else did I want to say here? Oh, and it's the third line, right? The 61.3. So this could be bonds made and broken, right? 61.3. It's also a Capricorn, 23 degree Capricorn. If we go back here with Venus, right? 23 degree Capricorn. That's an Aquarius degree. According to degree theory, this could be divorce. Maybe you're going through a divorce yourself, right? Or a separation. It's bonds made and broken, right? It's the third line. So maybe you are in a karmic relationship as a chaser right now. And like this is like a separation from your karmic partner. And that's happening because of this twin flame connection. It's been activated in you, right? It's all about you coming into your own authenticity with the 61.3. Okay. So it's the pressure to know the unknown. So it's about just accepting, chasers, that some things you're just not going to know. You're not going to go know with the 61.3. Right? Yeah. What else did I want to say about this? Okay. I think I said everything here. Yeah, okay. Oh, in the programming partner, just to mention quickly here, it's not activated, right, is the 62. These two, so each number here, 1 to 64, each number has a programming partner and they work together. So the programming partner of the 61 is the 62, and that is the intellect. So this is overthinking. Too much thinking. So it's time to meditate if you don't, chasers. Okay. And then if we look at the tarot that goes with the 61.3, it's the Four of Pentacles. And you can see that it's not just about money. It's about your body, your job. It's about the material world. So this is like, right, it's on his head, his crown chakra, the king. It's on his head. He's got it covering his heart like a shield. He's stepping on the coins. So he's kind of trapped in the material world. He's not free. So you could look at this too, right? That you're just trapped, trying to control, right? So this is the issue. Chasers, is you're trying to control this connection, right? You're trying to have control. And so this is saying to let go of control. And that means to let go of the mind, trying to find the answers, right? The why. Why is this happening? Okay. So that's what the Venus has to do to come in union here. And then let's look at the runner just quickly, because it's really about you. The Venusian and the chaser, it's about you coming into union. It's not as, and then the runner comes to you, right? Because it's all about energy. It's about energy. It's not about the ego, right? It's all about energy. So you can't take it personally. It's all about energy. Okay. So the Mars person is 31.5. And so you see 31.5, and then there's the 31 coming off the throat. So this is about expression, and it's about the needing to be heard, needing to be heard. So there's a couple ways we could go with this, because this is shadow. The shadow of the 31 is called arrogance. Arrogance. So arrogance, in this, how it relates to the 31, is the use of language. It's the use of language in words, right? In words. Okay. So they're either the runner, and you'll know this if you're a chaser. Either the runner is this themselves, how they use and manipulate language, or they're with a karmic partner that has this, that they're dealing with, right? That they're locked in to karmically, because they're here to learn a lesson. And so we have to look at the Maya, right? The Maya, everything that we can see out here, the matrix, is made up of billions and billions and billions of thoughts and words and thoughts and words. So arrogance is being able to manipulate those thoughts and words in the matrix to get your own way. It has nothing to do with truth, right? So it's about manipulating the other through use of language, right? And that's why it's called arrogance, this 31. It's the gate of influence. So it's having influence over other people. And it's the fifth line. So it's about power. You see that? It's about power. So the runner is being powered over somebody, or they're powering over somebody. You'll know, right? Powering over through the use of language. Through the use of language. And it's the misuse of language, right? And needing to be heard, the 31.5. So the runner needs to be heard, right? Or the karmic partner that they're dealing with needs to be heard, always be talking and manipulating language and having a gift and skill. Because you think of just words, spelling. Look at spelling. You cast a spell with your words, right? You create a sentence, right? You create a sentence. You create prisons with your words. This is how you manipulate others. So maybe the runner is learning to stand up for themselves because there's the Five of Wands, right? That's conflict. It's creating a lot of conflict with the Mars person, right? Especially if they're identified with their mind. And remember the dark night of the soul, the Venusian person, the chaser, is going through they're evolving through their emotional body. That's how they're breaking away from their ego, is emotionally. And the runner is breaking away from their ego, from the mental. So they're breaking out of this mental prison, right? And it's creating a lot of conflict. And the conflict is between the mind and the heart, right? The mind and the heart. So this is how the ego death has to happen, right? And if you're somebody that's, maybe you've got a 4 and 5, you see these tones, you've got a 4 and a 5, well, you're very attached to the Maya, right? You believe that you're your mind, right? You're very, very connected. You're entangled with the Maya. So it's a lot more difficult for this runner, if they have that, to break away from this mental prison, right? To break away from the mental prison. But all they have to do is listen to their heart, right? And what feelings or emotions are coming up, and not allow somebody else to talk them out of their feelings, right? So there's the conflict here that's happening. And so what's needed is humility. That's the gift of the 31, is humility. It's humility. So the runner, if you're a runner watching this, it's time to just humble your ego and put those wands down. And it's like, I'm not arguing with you anymore, right? I'm not going to argue. As soon as you do that, you stop the energy that's been building up with conflict and argument. As starts to break down. And then the flow of energy comes back to you, right? And all you have to say is you're right, right? The only thing that's saying that you're wrong and wants to fight is this arrogance. It's the shadow of arrogance. Yeah. What else do I want? And you can defer your power, the 31. So you can defer your power over to somebody else here. So this is a time to trust, right? It's time to trust. So this is what the runner is going through. So maybe as a chaser, you can relate to both. Maybe you're relating more to this 31, or maybe you're relating to both, a little bit of both. But it's really about you bringing your Venus and Mars energy together, right? Into harmony. Yeah. Okay. And then with the 61, it correlates, and this wasn't picked intuitively, is the Panther. So the Panther says that to annihilate anything, right? For the chasers, the Venusian ones, to annihilate anything that's unnecessary. It's about purging what's not necessary for you. And so getting rid of anything that's not necessary for you. And that's what the Black Panther. So you can visualize the Black Panther in your aura, right? I'm just getting rid of anything that's not unnecessary for me. I'm letting go of this control, right? I'm letting go of this control. And then Chaser is the lamb, So this is peaceful and patience. Inner peace is saying to meditate, right? Meditate and to listen, and to start listening to yourself, not listening to someone outside of you that you're projecting upon, because it's a fifth line. I'm projecting that they have all the power because they're so good at manipulating language. And what they're doing is they're keeping you at a surface level, right? You're not transcending the Maya. You're being trapped in the Maya. You're under a spell, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's what I got for the twin flames. I don't know. That felt kind of long. Okay. So let me get my comments up here before we go to the next part. Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay, so Phantom says, I've been with my twin flame for 27 years. You've been right on with your teachings. Yeah. Just be aware, because this is the new relationships that are coming, and they're quite rare, but they're becoming more and more visible. That's what I've been finding, and it's because of the internet. Right? People would be so lost before with they meet their twin flame, they think they were crazy, right? And now we've got the internet and people are sharing their stories, right? So but this is the point of the twin flame, is to awaken. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just you'll have the heads up, right? If you follow my channel. Okay. Okay, so let's go to, and thank you for liking my video. Let's go to the generators. Okay, so generators, you want to listen to the beginning if you've just came straight over through the timestamp, is we're talking about the new moon on November 30th here. So this is Sagittarius, right? It's the gate of focus. So it's about you focusing your energy on something that lights you up, right? You want to be lit up as a generator. You want to stop doing things that don't light you up. Yeah, right here. Okay? So this is a time to really let those 8 of Wands go, right? And this is your energy, what you feel passionate about. And then you're focusing. You want to get really focused on where you want to go, where you want to throw those wands, how you want to respond, right? So you're going to feel this 9 because you're a generator, so you're already colored in here, right? And let me know if you've got the 9 or if you have any of these, the 952 or the 63, the channel of mutation or the channel of concentration. Okay, so let's see that. So this is about movement. The 9 of 5 is about movement. It's about sudden changes. It's about excitement for this new moon cycle. Getting us all prepared for 2025, right? Okay, so you only want to respond to things and act the things that light you up, and your sacral will let you know what lights you up. Okay. What do we want to do here? So I just want to pick a card for you, generators, for this new moon cycle. And maybe you know already. Let us know in the comment section. Like, what's lighting you up these days? What are you feeling passionate about? Passion should be returning with Pluto and Aquarius. And Pluto and Aquarius is all about the future. It's all about the future. Yeah. And if you look at the 5th line, you always want to go to your natal chart, but we want to harness this energy. The 5th line is going to be something practical for the collective, right? Something practical. It will have a practical ground it, your idea and what you respond to. You know, yes, the cross of planning is dying, it's dissolving, but there's also like, it's very fertile right now for creative endeavors, right? And creative projects for the generators. Okay. So let's see. What do we got for our generator friends? So how to help them focus. What does the generator need to do to focus? What's blocking the generator? What do they need to let go of? What does the generator need to let go of? Okay. What does our generator need to let go? What's the ego for the generator? Okay. So you got for the generators, what to let go of is this. Let me see here. There we go. The World. It's the World card. Perfect for this time, right? This is Saturn, right? Saturn. Here. Let's look at Saturn. Okay, Saturn. So Saturn in the transit chart, in the human design transit chart, is a caution. It represents a caution. And what's the caution here? Is doubt. Right? So no doubts when you're throwing your 8 of Wands out, focusing your energy in one direction. No doubt. Don't have doubt. So this is the World. So this is saying that you've completed something in your life, right? You've come to a completion. You've achieved something. So I would go back to 2008, right? 2008, that's when Pluto went into Capricorn, and then it just came out, 2024. What was going on in those 16 years for you? Well, it's come to an end with the world. So now it's something new that you're going to be responding to. So maybe a new career opportunity. Maybe you're putting your shingle out. You're finally going to be an entrepreneur. Maybe you're taking a relationship to the next level, right? Maybe you want more prosperity in your life, more abundance, whatever it is, right? But you've completed this. So it's time to let this go. And the ego card here is perfection, perfectionism here. So perfectionism always leads to, it's the underlying theme of procrastination. Why? And that's the antithesis of this, right? The Eight of Wands is I'm going to procrastinate. Why? Because I don't want to face this. This is what the ego is telling you. That you got to be perfect, that you're not good enough. You need to fix your flaws, right? You're extremely self-critical, right? And this is in the North Node, right? The 18 and the 17 here, right? The 17 is all about finding flaws. It's all about, that's the shadow of the 17. Finding flaws, being really extremely self-critical of self, addicted to improvement. The programming partner is the 18. I'm dissatisfied with myself. This goes back to yourself. Maybe you're expressing it, projecting it, because this is projection, fifth line, right? The moon's in the 9.5. Maybe I'm projecting it onto others. I'm addicted to improvement. That would be the 18, right? So the message that I'm telling myself is I'm not good enough, right? So feeling inadequate, right? And this makes you a perfectionist, and it stops you from trying. So this is what you want to let go of. Has to end, this quality, right, of perfectionism for the generators, that you are good enough. And as soon as you say, here's a hot tip, as soon as you say, I am, right, I am, or I don't have, right? I don't have whatever it is. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough skills. I don't, like some kind of scarcity statement after that. What you're really saying is I'm not enough. I'm not enough. That's what you're really saying, that you are not enough. And that's not true. So you want to end that, right? So you really want to be aware of your language, right? So no holding back when you're throwing your Eight of Wands. That this has to end, this completion, right? And it's connected to the root chakra, right? It's Saturn. It's Saturn, and this is doubt, right? Saturn is in the 60, or Saturn's in the 63, 63.2. Yeah. And this is what you're projecting out, right? The second lines are all about projecting out. So you're projecting it out that you're not good enough. And of course, the universe is going to respond to that. So really, that's what I would say before the new moon. And homework for you generators is to really go back to 2008 and really get out your journal and just start writing. This is what I did year by year, what was happening. Oh, I learned that. Yeah, I learned that this year, and then this happened, and I learned that. All the people that you met, the experiences you had, and that's going to give you a good, how this perfectionism's been playing out for you, right? And then you're done. It's like, okay, I got all the lessons. I'm done. Now I'm moving on, right? But do not say you don't have, I don't have that, because you're telling yourself this, I'm not good enough. And take, also, the other thing too, is, and this is for all types, maybe you're listening to it and you're not a generator, you're another type, but also take some time to celebrate your achievements, right? Since 2008, we've been through the ringer, all of us. So take some time to really, give yourself snaps for what you have gone through, right? And how much you've grown since 2008. Take a time to do that rather than look at the flaws and like, oh, I coulda, shoulda, right? That's over. You can't go back in time, right? You can't go back in time. You did your best. Now it's time to move on. Keep moving on, right? And tell yourself that you are enough. Okay. That's what I got for the generators. Yes, go back to the vision. And remember, with the vision board, the power of the eyes, every time you're scrolling up and down social media and maybe you got some shady channels and stuff that you're following that are really addicted to negativity, that's your vision board. Everything you're looking at, right? That's your vision board. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Phantom, you don't worry about the twin flame waking up. You just bring all your attention back to you. That's chasing energy. I'm worried about my twin. Maybe they'll never. That's chasing energy. That's pushing them away. You're pushing them away, basically, right? Whenever you're focused, back to this focus, this ninth gate, right? You're focused on your twin, then you're chasing. So you want to constantly, it's a discipline. That's why it's so intense, right? The twin flame journey is intense because you can't get away with anything. There's no wiggle room, right? There's no wiggle room at all. It keeps you on your game. And then it will get easier and easier to, back to the self, back to the self. I'm chasing back to the self, back to the self. They'll come around. They're in God's hands. The best thing you can do for them is a prayer. Just do a little prayer in the morning and then let them go. Okay. So let's go for the manifesting generators. And we're talking about the new moon on November 30th, MGs. And we're talking about focus. Manifesting generators are not good at focus unless they have it natally. So this is focusing. Focusing your energy, directing it towards your soul purpose, what you really want. Don't disperse your energy, right? This is Sagittarius. You want to get your bow and arrow and you want to be pointing in the direction of your soul purpose and what lights you up, right? It's got to light you up, MG. Don't be compromising. What lights me up, that's where you go, right? That's where you shoot your 8 wands. This is movement, it's communication, it's passion, bringing your passion back, your excitement about life back, right? But it's got to light you up. There's no I should do this. I got to sacrifice for other people. No, this is all about you. It's all about you. This is your journey. Okay, and you don't want, because it's a 995, so go back to my to the beginning of my video, right? Because this is the keynote. It's the gate of focus, and it's the keynote of faith, because it's the 5th line. So this is projecting onto others. Well, they're really good at focusing their energy, and I'm going to hitch my wagon to them. Right? I'm going to have faith that they're going to solve my problem. No, 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 no. You want to go back to your own inner authority, right? So watch this, projecting your faith on others, that they're going to solve your problems. You go to your sacral, right? Your strategy and authority. This lights me up. I'm shooting my wands. I'm shooting my wands forward. This is a time for expansion. But it's time to get clear, right? Clear on what your purpose is, the next leg of your journey, what that is. Okay, so let's do a card for the MGs. No responding to things that don't light you up. Because that's a no. That's the sacral saying no. Okay. 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 So what's blocking our manifesting generator friends? What's blocking our manifesting generator friends for this new moon? What's blocking them? What do they need to know? Tell me what they need to know. Tell me what they need to know. Okay. Let's see here. And then, what's the ego card? What's the ego card? What's the ego card for the manifesting generators? Okay. Okay, so the question is what to look at, like what's blocking you from focusing, from moving forward for this new moon. So the tarot, you got the Judgment card there. And then two egos came flying out, two ego cards, and that's the self-sabotage. You see him, he's like sawing the branch, and he's sitting on the outside of the branch. Not a good idea, not too smart. People pleasing. And people pleasing. So this is what's stopping you, right? So this would be like worrying what other people think, right? I got to make them happy, the MJs, right? I have to make that other person happy, and then I'll be happy. Is that self-empowering? That has no self in it whatsoever, right? That's like the other self is more important. So people-pleasing is like I'm going to tell them what they want to hear. It can be a manipulative tactic, right? Trying to get your needs met. This could be something that you've inherited from your family of origin, this people-pleasing. It's a strategy. It's a coping mechanism from childhood, people-pleasing. And this is how you're sabotaging yourself from moving forward. It's a self-destructive pattern. And it's putting others too worried about what other people think. You're looking through yourself in your own eyes. You're looking at your life and your own self through someone else's eyes. That's what people pleasing. I got to make them happy, right? So what's the fear, right? What's the fear? The fear is rejection and abandonment. I'll get rejected or abandoned if I actually say no when I mean no, right? When you say no when you mean no, then your yes has way more power. When you say yes, it has way more power, right? And then the Judgment card. So that's definitely what's blocking you. That's a self-sabotaging program that you've inherited since childhood to stop putting other people above you. Stop putting them on a pedestal. And that fits with this the moon, doesn't it, right? Look, the 9.5. Right? This is a projection, right? I'm projecting that person has more power. I'm projecting that person has all the power. They're focusing, so they must know the solution. I'm going to hitch my wagon to theirs. And that's not true, right? So this is about judgment. You can see there's the angel tooting the horn. This is about resurrection, right? It's resurrecting yourself. It's a renewal. It's about awakening. It's about an awakening now. Awakening your true self, right? So this means don't go back to sleep. That horn is like the alarm clock going off. That angel is tooting that horn. Wake up, MGs. That's what it's saying. This is a rebirth, right? It's a rebirth. And to me, it's about soul purpose, right? It's about your soul purpose. But you have to let this go. The people-pleasing dynamic and the self-sabotaging dynamic. And to know that people, when you start saying no and people are used to you saying yes, then they're going to have their own experience of that, right? But that's not your responsibility. They're experiencing your truth. This time is about getting into truth, alignment with your truth, your authenticity. And some people are not going to like that, especially if they're Mr. and Mrs. Fakery. and they've been wearing a mask all their life and they're people pleasing too, they're going to get triggered by that, but you need to be okay. On the spiritual path, right? You've got to have a thick skin. You got to be able to protect yourself and be okay. You're not going to be everybody's buddy. Not everybody's going to like you. When you start speaking the truth, the first thing you start losing are your friends. Friends of habits. They're not really true friends. They're not friends of your consciousness. Because if you say no to a true friend, they're going to understand. They're going to understand and they'll honor your no. Right? Yeah. Okay. Anything else for the MGs? Yeah. So I would be on the lookout for this new moon cycle. To start speaking the truth. Start speaking the truth. Yeah. Okay. That's what I got for the MGs. And okay. Do. Okay. Great. Okay. So someone mentioned an MG here. I just want to take advantage of having you guys live here. Sacred Journey says, I'm in a positive place. That's awesome, right? So this is just about like maybe what you see out in the world. Remember I talked about this at the beginning. Some people are not going to be impacted depending on their chart and what level of consciousness they're at and how much work they've been doing. They may not be impacted. Sometimes I'm really impacted by transits, and sometimes it's like, oh, I didn't really feel that, right? It just depends on you, because human design is all about the science of differentiation. It's the celebration of your uniqueness, right? But just to be aware that you may see these patterns. That's what I want you to start to have, to develop this awareness of like, oh, I'm seeing the program at work. I'm seeing those exact words coming out of people's mouths. And when you start seeing that, it's quite incredible to see how this program just permeates every aspect of life, right? Okay. So let's go to the projectors. The projectors. So projectors, you want to watch the beginning of the video, right? To learn more about this new moon. But I will say that it's activating the gate of focus. So it's about focusing your energy, right? And then getting in this 8 of Wands energy. Remember, this is Sagittarius. This is freedom. It's lightness. It's lucky. It's taking risks. It's a fire sign. We're finally out of the water of Scorpio season. We're in fire. We're ready to take action. But you got to wait for the invitation, right? You got to wait to be recognized and then invite it. And then going for it, the 8 of Wands. Okay, so we'll do some cards for the projectors. And what's blocking the projector? Tell me what's blocking the projector. Okay, well, that's interesting. And let's look at the ego card for the projector. Okay. The projector's feeling a bit of anger. But if we put it in projector language, that would be the bitter. Oh, there, it's working now. That would be the bitterness. Right? Feeling a little bit of anger. Right there. And competition. Anger and competition. And then the King of Wands. So this is what's stopping you, is blocking you, is anger and competition. So anger about competing. Competing. Do you feel like you're competing? And your life projectors, let me know. Because this is what's blocking you, competition. So this is comparison, right? You're comparing yourself. Oh, isn't that interesting? The 17, do you see the nodes? The 17 and the 18? Right there, the 17 and there's the 18. This is the karmic axis we're in, so we're moving more into the 17. But this is like dissatisfaction is the 18, and I'm not enough. And it fuels the 17, which is comparison, right? Comparing yourself to others. So this is how you see the world, right? The 17 is like, oh, this is how I see the world as a projector. Because you're a non-energy type, right? As a projector, living in a generator, manifesting generator world. But soon it's going to be a projector world. It's going to be a projector and generator world, right? Soon enough, 2027 and onward. So seeing the world as comparison, this is the old Pluto in Capricorn, right? Hierarchies. Where do I fit into the hierarchies? That's how the projector would work, especially if you're a pure individual, right? So you want to look at if you already know this, right? Like your channels. Are your channels individual channels, tribal channels, or collective channels? If you're a pure individual, it's like, where do I fit in? Where do I belong in this world that I see out here? Because your projectors are only 20% of the world. So there can be anger about that. So the bitterness coming up. And I mean, it goes back to childhood, that dynamic that you're letting go of for this new moon, right? Letting go of this. And if you have any competition and jealousy, that goes back to your family. There's a lack of bonding in the family. So there's inner child work to do here. If you feel like that's resonant for you. If like, yeah, I always attract people that are competitive with me. You know, I always attract people. I'm comparing myself and I'm saying that I'm not good enough, right? It's going to come back. It's going to go back to your family of origin and the lack of bonding. Okay. And then the King of Wands as a block would be not feeling confident. So lacking confidence. Oh, I lost that again. So lacking confidence. Lacking confidence here. What would I say about this? Competition. Comparison. I'm just hearing the word elevate, right? It's time to elevate your perspective. This is very limiting to see the world because this is the natal axis. That's the movie that we've been conditioned, that we've been programmed. Remember the program? The Matrix program? This is the movie that we're all being programmed to see right now. Judgment and opinions, the 17 and the 18. This may or may not be true for you. So if you're getting caught in this program, this movie, this is the conditioned movie. This is about conditioning everybody on the planet. Look over here. Look at these people that have so much judgment and they're so dissatisfied with their life. Look at these people. They're so opinionated. They take sides. They're this and they're fighting against the other side, right? That's the movie. That's the conditioned movie. Right? So you want to look at what your movie is in your natal chart. So you can get your free chart if you're new to human design. Get your free natal chart. I always have a link in the the information box, and that's the movie that you're meant to see. You're not meant to see this unless you have it, unless you have the 1817. Maybe let me know in the comment box if you have this nodal axis, the 18, the 17. So I would say to take your eyes off of that, right? Of this world of competition, this world of anger, and this dog eat world, and how am I going to fit in, and I'm going to compromise my projector self, and I'm going to be a generator, I'm going to exhaust myself, I'm going to burn out. That's not the projector way. You've got to really, really value your energy as a projector now, right? Value your energy. You're here to guide the other types. You're here to guide the other types. Right? And this is the time to embrace the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is the leader. The King of Wands is about vision. Right? What's my vision? That's the Eight of Wands. Right? What's my vision for my future as a projector? What am I passionate? Eight of Wands. What am I passionate about? What system am I passionate about? Right? Where am I being called? Where is life calling me right now? Where is life inviting me? It doesn't have to be an actual person that says, I'm sending you an official invitation to this school. It's like, no, life can invite you as a projector. You can be invited by life by just the passion that you feel towards something, right? And it's going to be something that you're really zinged about. That's where you want to go. Don't get caught up in this. This is keeping you trapped, right? Anger and competition. This is a game that we've all been conditioned. And now, right, we're conditioned to look at that over here. So the King of Wands, you want the big picture. The leaders, the new leaders of the Aquarian age are the projectors. It's about taking control of your life. It's about being bold. This is the fire signs, right? Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. Yeah. And being optimistic. And you got to believe in yourself, right? You got to believe in yourself and then focus. It's about focusing. So focus on what lights you up. That's the message for all the types. What lights me up? That's where you want to focus your energy. Not on like, I can get a good living by this, right? I'll just compete with other people. You're not being you. You're not being authentic when you're this. Who can compete with you? There's only one you. Nobody. It's like ridiculous. How can you compete with anybody else except yourself, right? You can only be you. So just be the best you, right? So anger, this is a conflict. You're going through some kind of conflict in your mind about, am I going to be me, right? Or am I going to get trapped in this programming, which is like fear, right? I got to go over with this crowd where I'm safe and I'll survive because I'm so uncertain. That's all the programming. You got to know yourself, right? If you're a projector and you're into human design, then you got to know this stuff. And it starts with you. I can't get lost in this not self world. You're no good to anybody as a not self projector, right? You're no good, and you're certainly not good for yourself, you know? This is all the mind stuff, right? So transcend the fear and know that this is a different world, right? Pluto moved into Aquarius. It's a different world now. It's a different vibration. Yeah, so it's time to let go of competition and anger and comparison and am I good enough? And I got to imitate this person over here. And it's just creating conflict, right? And stress. Okay, let's go for the manifestors. Okay, let's go for the manifestors here. Let's see what these manifestors are up to. There's been a theme. So manifestors, if you just time-stamped over here, I clicked on the link, that we're talking about the new moon on November 30th. That's activating the 9, ninth gate of focus. And I'm going to pick a card. What's blocking the manifestors from moving forward? And you can see that Eight of Wands. It's time to move forward. It's time to focus. Bring your focus on your soul purpose. Not be so scattered with your energy, right? Okay. Okay. What do we got for the manifestors? What's blocking the manifestors from moving forward? What's blocking the manifestors from moving forward for this new moon? Or advice, just clarity for our manifestor friends. Okay. It's got to be a jumper. There we go. Oh. Let's go for your manifestor friends. What's the ego card for the manifestor friends? Oh, interesting. Interesting. I'm seeing a real theme. So you got the Judgment card. That's the ego that's blocking you. And then the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles, which is great. Okay. So what's blocking these manifestors? Well, remember your strategy manifestors, and I'm just talking strategy, is that you receive the divine download, the DD, right? And then you share or you inform, right? And then you initiate, right? So the themes that I've been really witnessing and seeing, the patterns that I'm seeing with the manifestor readings that just the last month or two, is that there's a disconnect here, right? There's a disconnect, meaning that you get the DD, you got the divine download, but you don't get to the sharing part, right? So this is where the ego is stepping in, right here, with its interpretation, right? So you're not a clear channel. You're not a clear channel at all because that ego's getting in there with judgment, judging your DD, the divine download. So, and then if we look at the nodes of the moon, and this is what I talked about with the projectors, this is the conditioned movie. It's the conditioned movie, right? So the nodes are what we see out in the world. So you have your own movie. You've got to look at your own south node, north node in your natal chart. That's your movie. That's the movie you're supposed to see. The conditioned movie right now is this 18 and 17. We're going to see a lot of people in judgment. We're going to see a lot of people opinionated. We're going to see a lot of people fighting and in conflict with one another. We're going to see a lot of dissatisfied people. People seeing flaws out in the world, right? That's the conditioned movie. So this right here is telling me you're in the conditioned movie. You're not in your movie. Now, if you have the 1817, then that's your movie. But you got to make sure that it's the right number too, because it's right, 17.1, 18.1. So you're in this. You're looking, this is judgment, right? So judgment. So this is your own mind, right? So your own mind. So it's the self node. So your own mind is judging the divine download that you're receiving, right? So you're judging it. So this means you're dissatisfied with it, right? Not you, but the ego. The ego is dissatisfied with it. And you're in blame. So the manifestors can be blaming other people, right, for this. And what it is, again, it's all about focus. Right? So the new moon's about focus. So bring your focus back to yourself, back inside. What is this judgment about? This is really about me. Manifestors, this is about me. I'm going to bring this back to myself. I'm not going to be in this movie. Right? I'm going to bring my focus back to me. I'm going to go inside and I'm going to look at why I'm judging What am I judging outside of me? What am I blaming outside of me? Well, it's all judgment is self-judgment. This is the work that you have to do, right? Yeah. So you don't want to attach to the judgments, because this is your mind. This is not self, right? This is your not self mind, right? All this conditioning from this transit chart, it's all about conditioning your mind, right? So you want to bring it back inside. All judgment is self-judgment. I have to go back inside. If I'm judging others that, that they're the ones that are blocking me from my prosperity, they're blocking me from my happiness, blah, blah, blah. It means you're blocking you from your happiness. Your ego is blocking you from your happiness. So you go back inside. Where's the judgment, right? Where's the judgment? And that's what you have to look at. That's what your work is. So that's what this Nine of Pentacles is saying, right? She's all alone. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, right? There's no gender in tarot. So this is Venus and Virgo. So this is about being self-sufficient, right? So maybe it's more about your pentacle manifestors, that you're blaming other people about your prosperity or lack of your scarcity. It's like to bring it back to the self, that you're the one that's responsible for your own prosperity. It has nothing to do with anybody else. This is Venus. Right? Venus is like attracts everything to her. Yeah. So this to me is about, I feel like it's about to stop blaming other people and to take it inside, get your journal out, start writing that, and that person, whatever your judgments are, that person is, that person is greedy. Let's say that person is greedy. They have all this money and they got 4 cars and they got 3 properties and they got this and they got that. Person's greedy. They probably exploited a bunch of people to get their money. Whatever the judgment is, then you bring it inside, right? You bring it inside. Where's this coming from, right? Well, there's a part of you that wants prosperity probably, right? And it's making it wrong. It's wrong for me as a spiritual person to want prosperity, right? So now you want to switch it, and there's a judgment about that. And it's going to come from your ancestors. There's a judgment about this, about wanting material success. There's nothing wrong with that. You're a manifester. This is keeping you from your manifesting powers, right? This belief system that wealthy people are greedy. Like, that's just an example, right? That to explore that. Just because it's pentacles, it's about money. It's about money. And look at your affirmations for this, right? Like, I am self-sufficient and able to manifest my own abundance. That you're in charge of your own abundance. But you've got this ego that's in there like, no, that's wrong for you to want this. And then you're judging other people that have what you want, right? So look at that more closely. You just don't want to, the judgment is just the ego and the mind. It's where you get into troubles when you attach to it, right? Yeah. Okay. Let me know if you're a manifester. Yeah. Okay. Let's go for the reflectors to finish it off here. And please let me know if you're a reflector. And somebody email me. I forget your name now, but you're a reflector. I'm going to email you back. Thank you for reaching out. A reflector reached out to me. Okay. So reflectors, we're talking about the new moon and the 9th gate of focus. And remember, reflectors, that you need to be around people that light you up. You need to be around people that light you up. Okay. And what do we got? What do we got for our reflector friends? What's stopping our reflector friends? That one. for our reflector friends. Stopping our reflector friends. Okay, the reflector's got the avoid the soul purpose card. Interesting. And then the King of Cups. The King of Cups. So the question is, what's stopping you from moving forward? Because reflectors, remember, this is all about focusing your energy on things that you love, right? So not projecting this onto other people as a reflector. Remember, you need to be around the right group of people, and the right group of people that light you up, right? You need to be delighted and surprised by your community. Okay, so this is avoiding. The ego is saying to avoid your soul purpose. And to avoid your soul purpose is to stay in this world, right? The life in the matrix, right? This isn't a total avoidance. It's looking to the material. Maybe you're not like in the bar scene and dancing and clubbing and all that stuff, but maybe you're attached to the material world and what it has to offer. Maybe you're hiding, right? As a reflector, maybe you're hiding in this world, hiding in a group of people that are not correct for you, right? Because remember that the chart, right? This is fear. The motivation is fear, and the fear drives people to be with the crowd. So you may be with the wrong crowd here, right? And this is, unless that's your motivation. And as a reflector, you really need to know your motivation. This will really, really help you, because your authority is the moon, right? Is to learn your motivation. Actually, Ra talked about that. So if your motivation is fear, like Wagyu, that's for you. But if it's not, then this is wrong. You'll be motivated by fear, and you're going to really feel this because you're so merged with the program as a reflector, right? You're going to feel the fear. You're going to see people running with the crowd, agreeing with the crowd, just to be somewhere that they belong, to get rid of this uncertainty and to get rid of this fear. So you want to watch that, because this could be a way that you're avoiding your soul purpose, right? You're avoiding your soul purpose. This is going back into the matrix, having some fun, and doing anything to escape your soul mission, right? And so I love that quote. Destiny is, you meet your destiny on the road you take to avoid it, right? You can't escape your destiny. So the medicine here to get you moving, to get your wands going, your passion about life going again. So maybe you got to leave that crowd of people that aren't right for you. And then you've got to trust, right? That if you're taking a bus, sometimes you don't get on like the bus is crowded, right? But just know that there's another bus coming, like in 10 minutes if you live in the city, right? So just know that the right crowd will come when you remove these blocks, especially if you're with the wrong people. Reflectors really have to be with the right community. So this is you, the King of Cups, right? So this is wise, diplomatic, balanced head and heart, devoted, advisor, counselor, right? So this is about you lead with your heart, right? You lead with your heart. You lead with your compassion, right? You lead with your emotional intelligence, right? That's what's going to lead you, not fear, right? Don't be making your decisions from fear, right? Or uncertainty. My mind is uncertain. So they look like they know what they're doing, right? Because it's the 9-5. So projecting onto others, they've got the power, the fifth line, right? They're focusing. They can focus. I'm going to hitch my wagon to their star. They know what they're doing. No, 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 no. You want to be listening to your heart, right? Yeah. Okay. Anything else? So really take a moment, reflectors. And remember, you're here to follow the moon cycle. So this is an important marker for you, is focus. And then look around, because the reflectors can really see this program at work more than any other type. Yeah, and please let me know if you're a reflector. Okay. So that's what I have for everybody. Okay. So my recorded readings, I got a Mercury retrograde sale. So that starts now, 50% off for these. And this is, if you're new to human design, this is the perfect way to start. And it's you learn what you need to be eating according to your chart, where you need to be living according to your chart, how your type works, your type, what your type is. You get your chart, you get a meditation, and how your intelligence works too. So we go into what these arrows are. So you look at your variable, and that gives you more information, and that aligns you with your authenticity. So it takes me about 24, no more than 48 hours to put this together. Shorter, right? So 50% off there. And then I also have a place where people can donate if you like what I'm doing, as much as you want. And there's a link in my information box. And notice that I don't put ads in my YouTube videos, maybe some of the older ones that I haven't caught, because I've got ones from like 2009. But these, because I don't like YouTube, because I have no control over what advertisers come in. And I think that would be so jarring to have some inappropriate advertiser in the middle of my videos, right? So I purposefully do that. Okay. So, yes, and please thank you, Ripple Long Hair. Please like the button, and it really helps the channel and to spread this message of being yourself, right? This is all about being yourself and loving yourself, accepting yourself. I know it sounds easy, but it's if you've been on the spiritual path for a while, you know that it's probably one of the hardest things to do is to love yourself. That's sad. Yeah. Because of this, the world, and the more people we have being their authentic self and love themselves, then we send out this vibration, and then it's easier and easier for the children, right? For the children to really have that leg up to love and accept themselves. And then this is how we create this new world. Okay? So I will see you next video, and I may be doing one on Sundays, right? On Sundays. And that's for the week ahead. It will be like a little transit report for the week ahead. It won't be the readings for all the types, but it will be heads up. So I'm going to meditate on that, but I'll let people know. If you're on my newsletter list, you'll know. But it will launch this Sunday, if that's the case. Okay? And I will see you next video, maybe on Sunday. Okay. Satnam Aloha, everybody. Bye-bye.